Hi, my name is Claire Albrecht, and welcome to Silent Command Stream. So today I'm just going to define for you guys my version of leadership. It's definitely not concrete, and I probably think about it just almost every day. So it's an ongoing process, but here's what I've got for you guys. So first and foremost, I think a leader is dependable. I think you have to physically be present in order to lead. So for me, that means being the first one in and the last one out. That's to rehearsals, to show days, if you're in high school band, making sure you get down to the band room first and you can work a way out to, stay late and make sure that everything's all cleaned up before you go home at the end of the day. If you're a drum corps, that's waking up before the corps, making sure you've got what you need to be done first before you even wake up the drum corps. And then, staying last on the field, make sure it's, picked up in a decent shape. Being last on the bus, making sure everyone gets back at the end of the night, things like that. Being dependable is as simple as answering texts and emails, picking up your phone, and just overall being accessible to those who you lead. Being dependable means you are your word. Secondly, I think a leader is intentional. I think it's extremely important to know everyone's names and to get to know at least one little fact about them as soon as you can. If you're intentional about knowing names and knowing just a sliver of information about somebody, it really goes a long way. I think you need to be intentional with knowing all your music and all your drill. I think it's absolutely the drum major's responsibility to have everything committed to memory as soon as possible. And if that's not the exclusive definition for you and your role, I think that's definitely a standard to hold yourself to really push yourself as a leader. Being intentional means you do what needs to be done before it needs to be done, whether or not anyone asks you to do it, and whether or not you want to do it. I think by being intentional about acknowledging others' accomplishments is really empowering to those who you lead. You may not realize how important your words are to somebody, but speaking from experience, I know that your words in this type of role carry a lot more weight than you may think. And lastly, I think it's really important as a leader to be intentional with setting goals for yourself and for the organization. I think it's really easy for drum majors to get lost in kind of just the flow of the season, and there are times when you may not feel like you're growing, or you're just so busy with everything it's in a rush, and you might look back and be proud of your season but not really be able to articulate what you were able to accomplish that season, and you might not be able to articulate what your band accomplished that season outside of placements. So for that reason, I think it's really important as a leader to be intentional about setting personal and organization goals. Lastly, a leader should be humble. A leader is the first one to give credit and the last to accept it. Humility is accepting responsibilities for issues that may not be your direct fault. If you're their leader, you're responsible for them. A leader can show humility by being an unbiased and unassuming moderator. As a leader, you often find yourself in a position where you have to moderate an uncomfortable situation. Sometimes maybe your friend is involved, or another section leader, or maybe just a confrontational person in your band. But it's really important to show humility through this process and to not show favoritism and to not assume the worst of someone just because of the reputation you think they might have. Being humble is asking other people about their day before you tell them about yours. And kind of another note on this, I have a very strict rule, I guess, that I would like to try to hold myself to, just about not complaining down, even to your best friend. And it's a really hard thing to do, but I think that's really something to consider when you're in a leadership role, that you're not complaining to people who can't do anything about the situation. And so it's just not going to do any good for your position or your organizations. My tip for this is to find a friend maybe outside of band, or in another band or drum corps, or find maybe a staff member that you're closer to bring your concerns to. If it's something that needs to be fixed and addressed, then take it to someone who can do something about it. But if not, if you just need to blow off steam, then find someone that's totally removed from the situation. And this is just my final personal tip. I just recommend that you stay away from braggy social media posts. And it's really hard because you're really proud of, you know, yourself and your accomplishments and your organization, and there are definitely ways to express that, but I personally would just avoid long drawn out posts about your role in your band or organization. I'm Claire Albrecht, and thanks for watching Silent Command Stream.